Hello Logic language learners. So this is a video, if you've just seen the video on how to use the word interest 4 ways, 5 ways really, you will understand what's coming. If not, please do check that video out. It's a really good example of what we're about to do. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It really helps me, it keeps me motivated, it keeps the videos free. And if you want to say hello in a message privately, you can do so at logiclanguagelearning@gmail.com or the Facebook page Logic Language Learning, or indeed on Skype Logic Language Learning for any private tuition, or in person, those of you who live in London or visit London. So today's video is really important, and this is not just a student technique, this is something that I think people need to do anyway, just to keep language interesting, but it's particularly useful when you find yourself always saying the same thing and you want to keep that interesting. Also, like I said, for writing essays, it is brilliant because it really helps you get out of certain situations and it helps you get better marks. So it helps you be more complicated, those of you that want to be. It helps you be less complicated, those of you that are struggling. It's an absolutely brilliant system, and people forget to do it because they obsess over learning vocabulary, which I'm not criticising. That is what you need to do. So this system is what I call the family. It's what I call the, that was a mafia joke for anybody that doesn't get that. It's where you basically remember that a lot of words, I almost said most words, but it really is a lot of words, have a different form, and I don't mean a conjugation, we're not talking about tenses here, have a different form. For example, what kind of words do we have? We have nouns, which are things. Yeah, we have adjectives, which are describing words. We have verbs, which are doing words. I know that sounds incredibly basic. We have adverbs, which talk about what the doing word is doing. Okay. We have adjectives, which are describing the person, or describing or describing the action something has on a person. So let's take an example. Tired. I am tired, je suis fatigué. So whenever you have an ED in English, well, let's run through the examples first and then I'll explain this to you. So I am tired, je suis fatigué. It's tiring, c'est fatigant. That tires me, ça me fatigue. Yeah. I've got a problem with being tired, j'ai un problème avec le fatigue, with tiredness, okay? We don't really have an adverb for tired, but we could say d'une manière fatiguée, in a tired way. Let's do another one. We'll talk why. Énervé is to annoy. Okay? I'm annoyed, je suis énervé. It's annoying, c'est énervant. That annoys me, ça m'énerve. Okay? Yeah, let's talk about what we're now doing. One more that can be a noun. I'm motivated, je suis motivé. It's motivating, c'est motivant. It motivates me, ça me motive. J'ai beaucoup de motivation. I've lots of motivation there. We've got a noun there, okay? So, what we're talking about is that most verbs that are ER verbs, and I hate saying that, as you know, they are first group, we say in French, they are A verbs in my method. We can jump them around really easily, can't we? We can place them in different places. So what are the places we can place them? So So if you have a word, let's see if we can get this on the board. Okay, if you have a word which ends in E and an R, okay, can you see that? Actually, do you know what? I'm just going to write it underneath. It's just 10 times easier if I type it up and print it underneath. So look down under the description. So if you have a verb which ends ER, yeah, so énervé, to annoy, or motivé, or fatigué, okay, the past form that we talk about is what would is when you've got an auxiliary. So I have motivated, j'ai motivé, M-O-T-I-V-E with an acute. And motivated, okay, is also the adjective. I am motivated. So did you ever stop and think where that motivated came from? It's not just an adjective, motivated. We probably say, oh, I'm motivated, more than I have motivated, or I motivated the kids doing this. You know, there's some adjectives which come from verbs that we actually use the adjective more with. But the fact is it does come from that. So anytime you hear an id as an adjective, he's motivated, he's annoyed, he's tired, they are obviously from verbs. To annoy, to tire, to motivate, where someone does that to someone else. So what that then means for us is that we can do two things straight away. We can either say I am motivated with the E, motivé. We can say something is motivating, okay? And ing, as you know, will be A-N-T. And it will be where the ER would go, we're going to swap for an A-N-T. So motivé would be motivant. So if we were talking about sport, which is the example I always give, so sport, I am motivated, you know, je suis motivé par le sport. I'm motivated by sport, okay? Or I'm motivated by what I would look like if I didn't do sport, which would be enormous because of the quantity of food I eat. So je suis motivé, which is fine, whatever size anybody is. So je suis motivé par sport. Sport, le sport. Sport is motivating. Le sport est motivant pour moi. Okay, le sport est motivant pour moi. Okay. I have lots of motivation. Now, think about it. Most things have a noun. Okay, so motivate is the verb. The thing that you're describing is motivation. So you could use that as a sentence. So motivation will tend to be the same spelling as it will be in English, okay? Obviously most ION words, 80 ION words will be the same. So for example, if you went to another one, if you had tire, okay? Or excite, or, you know, je suis fatigué, I'm tired. It's tiring. What have we learnt to say for tiring? C'est fatigant, okay? Now remember, when you're using the ing, A-N-T, if you use say, it will always be the masculine pronunciation. It will always be the masculine version. You will not have an E on the end. But the minute something becomes an adjectival gerund, the minute it becomes A-N-T, it can be feminine. What I mean is you can have something feminine being something-ing. So for example, she is tiring, you know, my niece, she's got so much energy. Elle est fatigante. So be careful if you're doing the system and you're talking about a feminine thing. Okay? Then we could say, she tires me. Yeah, she tires me out. Elle me fatigue. Okay? So if you're writing an essay and you think, oh, I'm tired when I'm with my niece. Je suis fatigué quand je suis avec ma nièce. Spending time with my niece tires me. Passer du temps avec ma nièce me fatigue. It's tiring spending time with my niece. C'est fatigant de passer du temps avec ma nièce. We've got all these different ways. J'ai une grosse fatigue après avoir passé. I've got a massive tiredness après avoir passé du temps avec ma nièce. There's 4 ways round you could do this, okay? So let's now try and take this a little bit more, I suppose make it more complicated, make it more complex. So if you don't know, let's talk about when you have fewer words, okay? So if you only have one of those, so the fact is in your vocabulary you might have one of those. You might just have, surprised, okay, surpris, or a surprise, or so to surprise is something you can do to something, okay? So surprendre is to surprise. So let's run through the system. So I'm surprised. Can you hear the ed? Can you hear the ed? So that tells me it's from the past. So I have taken is j'ai pris, P-R-I-S. I've surprised, just the prefix sur. J'ai surpris, I surprised somebody else. But again, we don't say that very often. I am surprised, we're going to use the verb to be and we're going to take the past word and make it an adjective, like we do in English. Yeah, I satisfied the conditions, I am satisfied. We'll do that one in a second. So, je suis surpris, or as a woman, je suis surprise. Now, let's do it's satisfying. So, it's surprising. So what do we need to do? We go to the nous form of the verb. So surprendre, like prendre, surprend, 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 surprenant, not surprendant. And if you don't know why it's surprenant, not surprendant, go right back to the beginning of the videos and look at the video which is called Verbs with prendre. Okay? It's a soft, hard verb, but we always have an N. So prend, 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 prenant, prenez, prenne. Apprend, 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 apprenant, apprenez, apprenne, comprenant, comprenne, okay? It's really important because, guys, that's what you're going to use for your imperfect. You know, that was surprising me, ça me surprenait, or subjunctive. It's fantastic that surprises me. C'est fantastique que ça me surprenne, whatever, okay? So you need to know the N rule. Good, so surprising, and not surprisant or anything like that I hear. Surprenant. Because what is the trick? Find the nous form of the verb. Nous prenons, nous surprenons, c'est surprenant, it's surprising. Okay? Remember when you've got an ing, it could be a feminine ing. So if you are using c'est, C apostrophe est, it will be masculine. But you could say she's surprising, elle est surprenante. Okay? Next method. She surprises me. Okay, so I had a surprise when, okay, fine, you know, fine for an exam, j'ai eu, action, une surprise quand, fine. But show off your grammar a little bit more by using it as a verb. So she surprises me, present tense, so elle me surprend. She surprised me. Remember my bits and verbs method, she, me, then into the has, because it's an action past. Surprised, elle m'a surpris, okay? Ma surprise if it was a feminine person. Yeah, so elle m'a surpris, okay? So we have la surprise, the surprise, surprenant, surprising, je suis surpris, okay? We've got all these different ways. Ça me surpris, ça me surprend, ça m'a surpris. Good. It's just a way to work through different options. Let's do a couple more. Let's do satisfied, because we mentioned that earlier then. Okay? So I am, you might only know one of these. This is what I'm saying. You might know, right, okay, it will be your way in. You will know one of them, so you might know whichever one. I don't know which one you're going to know. You might have come across one of them. So let's run through them all. So la satisfaction is the noun. Okay, satisfaction. Okay, and unlike in English, there's no link with do in English, but faire, to do, and satisfaire, like prendre, surprendre. It's just a case of popping in a prefix. It's a case of popping in a few letters before the word. So faire, satisfaire. So all the tenses you know with faire, which I imagine would be quite a few now. You're going to know it's satisfaire. So fait, faisons, faites, font, satisfait, 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 satisfaisons, satisfait, satisfont, whatever, okay? So satisfied, can you hear the D? It means we're going to get it from the past. So I have made, j'ai fait, I have satisfied, j'ai satisfait. So I am satisfied, je suis satisfait. A woman, je suis satisfaite. So orally, that's a great one because it's showing off the fact you know it ends in a T. Okay? Satisfying. The ing. What do we do for the ing for most verbs apart from be, have and know? We go to the nous form of the verb. So what was we satisfy? Je satisfais, tu satisfais, il satisfait. Nous satisfaisons. Okay? Satisfaisant is how it's written, but we don't always tend to pronounce it that way. So it's satisfying, c'est satisfaisant, but instead of O-N-S, we write for ing, A-N-T. Yeah? So satisfaisant, satisfaisante. Yeah? Satisfying, okay? It satisfies me. So what would be it does me, ça me fait, it satisfies